Okay, good afternoon, grade 12. All right, so my name is Isel Sitole, and I am your CAT teacher. Yes, so today's lesson is going to be about data and information management. Data and information management. So we are going to focus more on gathering data and information. So data is usually gathered using questionnaires. Others use electronic forms and questionnaires with form fields. So questionnaires and those questionnaires are usually created using form fields. So now today I'm going to provide you with skills on how to gather data and information, how to gather data and convert that data into useful information. All right, so when gathering data and information, I recommend questionnaires. Okay, so today we are going to learn how to create questionnaires using your computer. All right. But before I move to creating questionnaires using the form fields, all right, before I move to that step, I firstly need to explain more on what the role and use of data, information, knowledge, or decisions is, as it is part of information management. Okay, so the role of data. Role of data. We live in the times where collection of data is very much important. And yeah, you collect data in school, maybe when you're working, and let's say you want to collect data, you want to know more about something. All right, so that's what data information is used for. All right, so when you are collecting information, obviously you want to know about something. If you want to know about something, you first need to collect data. That's when the collection, the gathering of data is done. So it becomes data. Then data on its own has no meaning. It makes no sense. So that data needs to be converted into information. When it's converted into information, that's when you use the information as your knowledge. So now you know about what you have just searched, about the data you have just collected. You've collected the data, converted it into information. You processed it into information. Now it becomes knowledge. With that knowledge, you make decisions. All right, so let me tell you something. Let's say I want to find out how many homeless people do we have in our area. I can collect data to find out about the number of homeless people in our area. I can collect data. Let's say maybe I find there's 30 females and then there's 20 males. That's data. Now I know there's 30 and 20, that's 50. All right, so with those numbers alone, that makes no sense. So I need to convert this into information. That means I dig deep into this data. I need to find out more about these homeless people in order to make this data more useful. So how can I turn data into information, then knowledge and decision? How can I do that? All right, so when you want to turn data into useful information, firstly, obviously you need to identify a problem or task. So my task is to find how many homeless people are there in our area. That's my task. So that's the first step of gathering data, information, knowledge, and then later making decisions. So I have identified the problem. Secondly, I need to gather as much relevant data as efficiently as possible. So I collect data. Now I know we have 50 homeless people. So I put that information on a spreadsheet or a database table. We have 50 homeless people, 30 females, 20 males. That's my data. Does that make any sense? Let's say I were to present that information to someone else. Would that make any sense? Even though, let's say maybe in a spreadsheet or a database table, I just write 50, I type 50, 20, and 30. That's data. Does it make sense? It doesn't make sense. So data has no meaning on its own. That's data. Now I have to process that data into information. How do I process that data into information? So obtaining information by processing data. All right. How can I process that data into information? I can create spreadsheets, database tables, and say maybe on my spreadsheet, have a title. Homeless people in our area. Males, females. We have 20 males and 30 females. So now at least there's a difference. Even if I were to present that spreadsheet to someone, they would be able to see that this person was trying to find out information about homeless people in their area. So she found out that there's 30 females and there's 20 males. So now the data is processed. Now the person which I would present this data to would understand, because now it is processed into information. It has been put on a spreadsheet. Okay, so like here on our slide, obtaining information. So how can you process that data into information? You can obtain information by processing data in the following ways. You can detect patterns and relationships, produce information in a spreadsheet database to process data, like I've said, collect information, and then I present that information in a spreadsheet. I put on a title, and then I have males and females. We have 30 females, 20 males. That's me processing that data. That's me making it useful information. All right. Now, remember we've said it first becomes data, information, knowledge. After knowledge, decisions. How can I change data into information? I've already discussed that. Collect data, you know the number of people. Now present it in a spreadsheet or a database or whatever that you want to use. so that people can be able to see what actually you were trying to find out or what actually your presentation is about. That's the processing of data. So data, processing of data into information. Now, how can that information be changed into knowledge? So you combine the information and knowledge gain into a report or a presentation. So application of data and information. So when, let's say I gather that information, that data, I process it into information. That information that needs to be used, needs to be learned by someone so that that person can change that information into their knowledge. All right. So application of data and information, the acquiring of knowledge. Gather, integrate, and analyze. Applicable information, process data, see relationships between various bits of information. So these relationships help us obtain new information and to develop the knowledge to allow us to answer the high-level questions such as how and why. So if the data is collected, turned into information, now this information to be converted into knowledge. How can it be converted? It needs to be learned and understood by someone. Can be me who collected the data, even if it's someone whom I pass that information to. They need to be able to use that information and then turn it into knowledge. So the relationship, it helps us obtain new information, sorry, and to develop knowledge. So if I collect data about homeless people in my area, I use that data, I process that data into information, then I turn that information into knowledge. So by turning that information into knowledge will help me make more, it will help me answer higher level questions. It will help me, maybe even if I want to change the situation of these people, that information will help me. If even if it's something else, not with information about homeless people, when you collect data or when data is collected, turned into information, then knowledge. Knowledge, information can be turned to knowledge when only it is read and understood by someone. So, okay, step 5. So step 4, we said we combine the information and knowledge gained into a report or a presentation. So I know the number of people who are there in our area. I have the information now. I understand everything about them. I combine the information and knowledge into a report. Let's say I write a report or I make a presentation. That's me becoming knowledgeable about that information. That's me, that is when that information is turned into knowledge. So it was data at first, the number of people and everything, then the information about these people. So now I'm able to understand their situation. I can now make a report about them. That's me now gaining knowledge with regards to this situation. So the last one, which is decision. Step 5, allow the decision makers to make an informed decision based on an accurate, comprehensive, and relevant report. Okay, so with decision making, you understand the knowledge which we obtain answers to assist us to make decisions and solve problems. I know how many people are there, how many homeless people are there in our area. I've converted that data into information. I now understand everything about them. As I understand everything about them, that information is turned into knowledge. Now I know about them. I know everything. What's happening in their lives, how many are they? I know. That's knowledge. And I'm able to present that in a report. I am able to write a report of how many people are there, how many homeless people are there in our area. Now I have knowledge with regards to homeless people in our area. Now, step 5, decisions. Now this information, I've gathered data, then turned it into information, use that information as my knowledge. Now I know. After knowing, I can now make proper decisions. I can decide whether uh, I can decide, let's say maybe I can help these people come up with solutions, come up with decisions, come up with, plan something, do something to help them. Yeah. So first step is data, information, knowledge, and decision making. I'm so sorry about this situation right now. Yeah, okay, but yeah, data, information, knowledge, and decisions. I am now able to make decisions. At first, I collected data about homeless people, turned that data into information. I presented that data, was able to present or make it, present it in a spreadsheet. Then now I can use that data, that information for my knowledge. Now I know it's knowledge. Now, after knowing, I can make decisions, some decisions. I can come up with solutions. I can solve the problem which is homeless people. My task was to find out how many homeless people are there in our area. Now I know how many people are there. I've used that data, turned it into information. That information became my knowledge. Now I am able to make decisions or come up with solutions. So that's the role of information management. So when we are collecting information, if we follow that, those steps, when we search for information, or maybe we want to find out about something, we need to follow these steps. These steps can help us. So that's the role of data, information, knowledge, and decisions. So these help us with finding information. At the end, we make decisions, sound decisions, and we come up with solutions. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So now, how can we gather data and information? Like I've said, data, first it becomes data, turn that data into information, knowledge. You now know about that information you've collected. Then now that information helps you to make decisions or you to come up with solutions. So that's the role of data, information, knowledge, and decision. The gathering of information. Okay, that's how we can gather information. All right, so now I want to come up with practical examples. Let's say using a computer. How can I collect data, use that data, convert that data into information, use that information for knowledge, then make decisions? How can I collect data? For me to find out how many homeless people are there in our area, I can use questionnaires. I can make questionnaires. But now when making questionnaires, my questions needs to be closed questions. I need to make multiple choice questions also. Let's say first and most important question when you want to find out, obviously, about homeless people in your area. First thing you want to know, how many people are there? You want to know how many are there. Secondly, are they female or male? Are they female or males? Those are examples of multiple choice question and closed question. So when you're making questionnaires, you need closed questions and multiple choice question. Right. So yeah, so with the layout of your questionnaire, you need to have instructions on what to do with the completed survey. Adequate space for respondents to give their responses. All right, so the layout. Okay, so I've said that questionnaires are the most basic, the most used form of collecting data, turning that data into, into information, using that information to knowledge, then that knowledge to making decisions. So questionnaires, the designing of the questions in your questionnaire, they need to be closed questions. They need to be multiple choice questions. Not all of them must be multiple choice questions, but some can be multiple choice and some can be just closed questions. All right, so yeah, the layout of your questionnaire. There has to be instructions on what to do with the completed survey. Adequate space for respondents to give their responses. So when you are making a questionnaire or survey, you need to create space for respondents to give their responses. I'll show you later on how a questionnaire looks like, an example of a questionnaire. All right. So when creating electronic forms and questionnaires, it can be easily made by using form fields. So in a Word document, we have what we call form fields. I'm sure you are familiar with form fields. If you are not, it's fine. Form fields. So when you're creating forms, you can use Word. So with form fields in a Word, your survey is filled directly on a computer. Can store the data recorded on these forms electronically instead of using controls as placeholders, just like what you've learned in grade 11. We are going to make use of form fields, all right. Okay, so how to make form fields? Let's start by the layout of a survey. I want to show you, just like this one. This is not a survey. This is a entry form for art festival, but then this is the same as a survey because the person who's trying to collect this type of information wants to know how many learners are interested in coming to the art festival, their names, their surnames, the school, grade, gender, their cell number, the category, the amount included. So when they are planning an art festival, they need to their plan needs to accommodate everyone. So that's why they would make a entry form. This entry form is in the form of a survey or a questionnaire. Yes, all right, so name, surname, school, gender, grade, gender, cell number. So this is electronical, but surveys are not only electronical. They can also, you can also print out papers and give it to people so that they can fill them out. But today we are focusing on the electronical way of making a questionnaire. Yeah. All right. So to make electronic forms and questionnaires. So today we are focusing on electronic forms, electronic questionnaires. You store the data, the data is stored or recorded electronically, right? Okay, so now you want to know how to create a survey using Word, because Word can help us with creating an electronic questionnaire. And this questionnaire will help us gather data, turn that data later on into information, then that information to knowledge, and we can make decisions with that information. Just like the person who's planning this art festival. She or he wants to collect data, how many learners are coming, how many are they, how many females, how many girls, how many boys, the category, that person wants to know. So this is going to help him or her collect data, use that data, convert that data into information later, then that information to their knowledge. They use that knowledge to make decisions, to decide on the theme, the venue, time, etc. All right. So how to create an electronic survey or the electronic forms that Word provides. Okay, so let's say that for our next lesson. So tomorrow we are going to continue and learn how to create electronic forms and questionnaires, how to create a questionnaire electronically. Okay, so for today, that's it for today. We are going to continue tomorrow. Yes, and thank you very much. So for tomorrow, we are doing the form and the electronic surveys. All right, so that's it for today. Thank you very much. And any questions? Any questions?